Everything was fine during my pregnancy. Really no complications at all. We weren't really concerned about anything until...
You started having pain. You know, and she didn't want to go in because she didn't want to be a hypochondriac. She was just there Thursday, didn't want to go back on a Saturday. And then she was in a lot of pain all night, all day Sunday. She didn't do it. She didn't sleep. So when I got up that early that morning, that Monday morning, I'm like, well, let's go. And off to Shannon we went. And the nurses took her right in, said, yeah, she's having full-blown contractions.
Rylan was born here at Shannon. He was born at 34 weeks, which is about 6 weeks too soon. His mom went into premature labor.
We got a little scared, you know, it's too early, 6 weeks at that point early. They tried to stop the contractions. That didn't help. They finally gave her an Ambien to relax about 10 p.m. that night, and then not 40 minutes later, her water broke, and we knew the baby was coming. And we knew that he was probably going to have a little bit of problems coming out, you know, was not being able to breathe, but of course we didn't know it was going to happen just like it did.
When he was initially born, he wasn't breathing. So he was brought over to the radiant warmer, and normally drying and stimulating will get a baby breathing. This time it didn't.
He went straight from there, straight out into the incubator, and the lady started working on him.
His dad was standing right beside him. I remember he was kind of blocking Rylan's so that Mom really couldn't see what was going on. But Dad knew that his son was in trouble.
I could tell right off the bat, you know, they put all the monitors on, they cleaned him up. And I noticed his color wasn't right. He was real limp and not responding.
I just remember that I looked over and one of the nurses raised his arm up and he just fell.
He required some what we call resuscitation. We had to start breathing for him.
I kept looking. I was trying to block her from seeing everything, and she was looking at me. I'm like, everything's fine. And I turned around, and I was the praying. I said, I've never been so ready to die for something in my whole life. That was pretty hard.
So the first 8 minutes of his life were pretty tense.
He finally, you know, gave a little bit of a cough and turned pink.
By about 10 minutes of age, his mom got to hold him for the first time. Because he was early, he had to be taken to the nursery for monitoring in our intermediate care unit. So the first day of his life was a little bit rocky, but after that, he just needed to feed and grow. He needed to grow up. So he spent about 10 days with us.
It was the longest 10 days probably of my life, probably, I would say.
They were very accommodating to her. They didn't have to let her stay there, and they did. They made room for her.
There was nowhere else better for me at that point, you know, than to be there with them. They were just amazing women, amazing women.
I fell in love with this family the first day I met them. They're just bright and bubbly, and Lacey's always smiling. So it's easy to like them. And Rylan's just a love. You just want to cuddle with him every time you see him. And I was the one who discharged them home, so I got to walk them out and watch them go off into become a family and go off into their lives.
Everybody there at Shannon was great. All the nurses, the doctors, and you felt like you were with family.
I think the biggest thing that helped Rylan's health care is the fact that Children's Miracle Network provided the training for us to be prepared for Rylan's birth. And CMN pays for that training.
Everything that was there to help, you know, not only sustain his life, but to resuscitate him was because of people giving and them having Shannon having the ability to have the right necessary equipment for something like that.
It's the Children's Miracle Network.
Yeah, it is, and we didn't realize that until after the fact. You know, something that's like you take for granted. If it's there, you don't notice it until somebody brings it to light that, hey, you know, not everybody has the ability to or has access to equipment like we did at Shannon. So, very grateful for that. Please support the Children's Miracle Network.
And help a miracle kid like me.
Well, he is certainly not that same little boy that you saw in the story. He is now a 7th grader at Trinity Lutheran. I'm joined with 2012 Miracle Kid Rylan Rey. Hey, Rylan.
Hey. Hey.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
Good.
And your father, Ronnie. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi, good. How you doing?
Thanks for being here.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, every year y'all come back. You continue, whether it's radiothon, it's telethon. Tell me why y'all can. Now, I know why you come, because you're told you have to. Tell me, really, Ronnie, why do y'all come every year?
No, and it's funny because we just talked about this, at the house. I said, look, he said, who listens to this or who watches this? I'm like, you don't know. And it could be the right person, somebody that needs to know that this is out there. Say they have an instance that happens in their family, that they know that there's people to help. They helped you breathe when you were little. You might have the right donor just be listening and say, hey, look, I want to donate to that. It's a good cause, and look at what it's done to the, it helped him live. So
Absolutely.
it's very important.
You have other children.
Yes.
So you've had your time at Shannon Medical Center,
Yes.
and you've seen all of the great things. Were you aware that Children's Miracle Network played a part even in your healthy children
Yes.
staying at Shannon Medical?
Of course, and then that's what I was telling you, that the importance of us that keep telling the story and getting it out there could touch the right people and make them aware that, hey, this is a good cause, and we need to keep it going. We need to keep donating as much as we can, just to help others. If somebody comes into a situation where they need assistance,
Right.
That Miracle Network's there.
We're called to stand in that gap for those to come.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Rylan, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us what you're up to and your age and all that good stuff.
I'm 12. I'm turning 13 this month. I'm going into 7th grade. I did basketball last year, and I plan on doing it this year again.
Hopefully they'll have football this year.
Oh, good.
Hopefully,
I
yeah.
think they're talking about it. So.
Now, did I dream this, or do you also do like martial arts or karate as well?
I did, yeah, but it because they had to close down.
Yes.
But you still have, you
Yes.
still enjoy it.
Yeah, tell them what you got to, though.
I got to be a black belt.
No way.
Yes. Got it. So he did get
Like
to that.
karate and karate?
Taekwondo.
Taekwondo. That's awesome. So your mother tells me, too, that you are an amazing big brother. Do you like being a big brother to your sisters? And
It has its ups and downs.
I love your honesty.
I'm asleep one morning and Ruby's yelling at me,
That's the baby. That's the.
Baba! Baba, I need you, Baba! I open my door and she's whatever. She's hungry. Mom's
He's the third
doing
parent.
something.
He's the third parent. by
Well,
default.
I love it. Well, I know your mom is very, very proud of you, as well as your father. And I want to thank you for being here today. We'll rip that Band-Aid off and be done. But I just want to thank you for being here, and we hope that you'll come back and join us again.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
thanks for all y'all do for Children's Miracle Network.